Welcome to the What Say You podcast. I'm Joan Bergio.
I'm Casey Jost.
And are you ready to listen to us talk for an hour? That's what I thought.
So very excited. We're coming to you live. Always live, I guess, when you're recording something.
Yes, live tape.
From my apartment, although we're in this weird nook that's like a little like lounge that no one ever uses.
Because there's a jackhammer going on outside constantly because they're building a hotel across the street from your place.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool. It's a boutique hotel, which I don't know exactly what that means. I think it just means it's a small hotel.
So if you want to rent a room across the street from Casey, your chance is coming soon.
Oh, no.
Should I give the address? No?
No.
Any hotels that pop up in the next couple months, you might want to book a room.
Oh, man. Well, I've given out too many details about my apartment. That sounds like it's What Say You podcast. Thank you. That was all our time. Bye, everyone.
Like you haven't done it to me any chance you get.
I mean, yeah, I've done a lot of bad things to you.
You're lucky. I take it in stride. Have you ever pranked someone and they don't take it so hot?
Yeah, of course.
Like do you have an example that comes to mind?
Nothing comes to mind. I haven't really thought about it, but I feel like there are times where you prank someone and they're just like, I didn't want this. I just didn't want this.
Well, when you pour water on someone, like that's never good.
Like we were talking about that you're talking about. So this whole podcast today, we're going to talk a lot about food because that's just the agenda. And one of the things that we were talking about trying is there's these miracle berries, they're called?
Yeah, they're called miracle berries, and they change the way things taste. So apparently you buy this thing on Amazon, you try it, and for an hour and a half, things like vinegar will start to taste like lemonade.
Yeah.
And like an orange will taste like a grapefruit. It just alters the flavor of things.
That one's not that big.
I know, but like it's like kind of, I don't know.
Well, I think one of the things I've read is like if you put like salt on grapefruit and bite it.
Doesn't that happen in real life already?
I forget. So there's something where it's like if you like sugar tastes like salt and salt tastes like sugar, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
It messes your whole taste bud situation up.
And people call it flavor tripping.
Yeah.
And then you get, for an hour and a half, your senses, your flavor senses are all like mangled. No, they're just different. So
which is exciting. Yeah.
So I was saying like I want to just slip that into like Lisa's food, my wife.
Yeah.
And it would be funny, but I think that she'd be like, "Why did you do this?"
Or are we going to tell her after she eats it, or like let her discover on her own?
I would let her discover. She's like, "This doesn't taste right."
Here, sweetheart, I poured you a glass of vinegar. Like, what do you?
I don't know what I would do. I think what I would at a restaurant or something if she ate it, at the restaurant if she like was like, "This burger doesn't taste," or I guess she would eat a burger, but this salad doesn't taste right.
Right. Well, that's good because there's a lot of vinegar in a salad dressing. She'll start to think it's like lemon vinaigrette.
It's really sweet. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, we're gonna take your wife down, man, one step at a time.
Yeah. So that'd be a fun prank, but I don't know if she would love it. She would just be like, "This is inconvenient."
Right.
But speaking of food, last time on the What Say You podcast, Junior Varsity style, we asked people to send us food. We asked people to send us like,
baked goods
from a packaged place. Don't send the ones that you made because they could be poison. You know how it goes.
Yeah, don't poison us.
Yeah, like don't eat unwrapped candy on Halloween. Don't send us brownies you made, no matter how delicious they are.
If you want to poison us, you have to do a really good job of wrapping it because we're like pros.
We're poison pros. But the thing that we asked was to send it, and then we had there's two addresses we said
because we accidentally said 75 Broadway.
Right. And we said, okay, so send canned goods, right?
Yes.
To 75 Broadway. And we said send baked goods
to 75
Broad Street. And what happened was, and we did not know this, so people send cans. And when we looked up where 75 Broadway is, it's a church.
It's Trinity Church.
Which is perfect for canned goods to go there. It's like what we like engineered like a positive.
Through a light little bit of pranking, we did the world good.
Yeah. Like what? Like that's a real, I guess would it be a practical joke? Because it's practically great.
Right. And it's the most practical place you can send canned goods to.
Yeah. That was a real practical joke.
Yeah.
That. Thank you very much. If you guys we want to thank the Tender Girls.
Tender Gals?
The Tender Gals? No, it's the Tender Girls.
Tender Girls.
Yeah, it was because there's different groups.
Right.
There's the Sal's Gals Club.
Sal Gals.
Oh, are you sure? Oh, yeah, you're
pretty
right.
sure, yeah.
Because, yeah, that's right. It's the Sal Gals Club.
Yeah.
And then there's also the tender girls. So that's why I think you were confusing. And Celeste, I saw her recently at a staph infection show, plug to the writers show that we do in New York called Staph Infection.
Once a month.
But Celeste, yeah, she was there and she said, "Did you like it?" And of course, I did not because nobody saved me any.
Well, we tried to, but like word got out that there were some delicious baked goods in the office, and they were like flies on rice.
Yeah. No, that's not it. That works because flies would probably eat anything.
White on rice?
White on rice. Or,
unless
it's like flies on shit.
Why don't they say brown on rice?
I don't think brown rice was as big as it is.
When that phrase got coined.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, the rice. So the rice, everyone loved the baked goods.
Right. And on the topic of food, there's a few things I want to talk about. One is I had the best taco of my entire career of eating food.
Your career as a taco
as a person who eats
food eater?
As a food eater, I had the best taco of my life. It was at like a stand that was in Herald Square in New York. And there was a restaurant that I could shout it out, but I don't know.
Is it a comedy club?
No. What do you mean?
Oh, it's a taco stand.
It was not at the stand. It was at a taco stand. But it's a place called Macondo? Taparia Latina, but they have two restaurants in the Lower East Side and the West Village, but they also had the stand. Dude, it was like a yucca flour shell. Mm-hmm. The flour shell was made of yucca. You ever heard
Which is a type of potato.
It is?
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know.
It's a fibrous plant?
Yeah. It must be some kind of starchy thing.
Well, I want to point out to our dear listeners that you just pulled the card out from your money clip of this taco stand.
Yeah.
And I got to say, there's limited space in one's money clip. You must really love it to put
it was phenomenal. It was
card in there.
The size of it was between a taco and a burrito. So it was a taco, but it was like the size of, like a small burrito.
See, that's the thing about tacos. I mean, I'm always tricked by them. You can usually get an order of 2 or 3. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to do on that.
I used to order 3 tacos, and the last time I did it, I was too full, and I was like, I should only do 2. But this place, I just got 1, and it was phenomenal. It was like a short rib taco, and the yucca flour, the cheese was good. It was just the whole thing was the best. And I thought to myself, I should write down the name and date and like remember that this was the best taco. Because you ever do that? You're like, this is the best food I had. And then you kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
If I had like a short list or a list of like, this was the best taco. This is the second place. You know what I mean? I try to remember. And like, this is the best pizza. I think that's something people should
make
do.
like an Excel spreadsheet of good foods you've eaten.
Yeah. That's what I want. That's literally what I want to do.
Literally?
It's figuratively.
Why don't you just do it? What's stopping you?
Hypothetically, I don't know if figuratively I can literally do it.
Literally, you could just look it up figuratively.
That's, spiritually not what I want to do.
Okay. I'm following you.
This is another thing so Joe and I, speaking of food, the entire thing is about food. Joe and I just went to a restaurant in my neighborhood called Umami Burger. And I had an idea for a service or an app that I think is going to change everything.
Please do tell.
Okay. And I've already told them about this, but we're going to discuss.
We're going to pretend I don't know about it. I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
That's a great start.
What is this app, Case?
So I was sitting and we finished our food. And you know that this happens every time you go to a restaurant. You finish your food and then, you want to leave, but you can't because you got to wait for the guy to come over and be like, hey, can we now have the check? It's always that awkward thing because he's
busy.
What other food can I sell you on?
Right.
And you're like, you're not going to sell it. If I want it, I'm just going to get it. And then so
I want to point out about this moment you're speaking of. This is true for you and me. We're boys on the run,
Yeah.
We got to go on to our next thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people I know, they love to digest and sit there. So this might not be for everyone, just off the bat.
But I would they still have the option.
Well, let's tell them what the option is.
Don't move around so much.
I'm not farting. It's just a leather couch.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
People hate that. All right. So, yeah, but now I'd like to put the power in their hands, not in this guy's hands that is a waiter. And what I'm suggesting is that, so the awkward moment is this. You finish your food. You have to wait for the guy to come. He comes. Then you give him then you ask him for the check. He goes away to some mystical land and, works out the paper and kills a tree and brings it back to you. And then you pay. And if you need change, he has to go back again. Or if you have a credit card, he has to go and run it and call the president. And then he comes back and says, here, your card's denied, Casey. And I'm like, oh, use this card. And finally, after the third card, it works. And then you sign the tip and everything. This is what I'm saying. We already have like a Seamless, like the app Seamless, where like
you got your Ubers, your Lyfts, your
you
Seamlesses.
have all these things. So what I say is you go to this restaurant, you sign in, like you log in, I don't know, a QR code thing. So it's like on your phone.
People hate QR codes.
I'm just saying. That some version of where you come and you sign in.
Tweet at me if you like QR codes, please. I want to know who out there, who among us likes a QR code.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Tell me.
I like the way it looks. It looks like this alien technology.
Sure. Everyone loves the way they look, but no one uses them.
So if you like the way a QR code looks, tweet at SI Bad Boy. Not looks. If you like the way, if you like QR codes in general, not the way they look, just like
everyone knows that they look cool. There's no argument there.
So tweet at him and send a picture of a QR code.
Does everyone know what a QR code is?
It's like those weird little box things, box in a box.
It's like a barcode or a scan, that you might see on a grocery, except it's a weird, glitchy looking box.
Yeah, Google it.
Google QR code.
Yeah. Anyway, so you sign in somehow, you log in, and then you get a table, and then your whole menu is on your phone, right? Like you have to have a smartphone. And this is not for every restaurant. This is not going to be for like, your old school Italian restaurant where that's the ambiance. But this is sort of for these modern restaurants, which they're popping up all over.
I liked the experience there at Umami Burger, but that guy was smiling too much, the waiter. I didn't like his smile.
Well, I'm trying to take him out of the whole equation.
Take him out of the equation.
So this is the thing. So you order your food and everything on the phone. The only mistake that there could be is if you made the mistake, which is another thing. Put the power in
entirely possible.
Right? The food comes out. There's a person there working the floor to get you extra napkins and stuff, but he's not necessarily a waiter unless like there is an issue, then he could handle it himself personally. But everything else is like on the phone. Then when you finish your food, you just pay on with the app and you get out of there and you leave and you enjoy and then you save time because time is money and money is power and power is respect and respect is family.
Wow.
Yeah.
What if you don't want a family?
Then you shouldn't even be at restaurants.
Yeah.
Because restaurants are about family. Olive Garden.
That's a really good connection.
Thanks, man.
So are there any flaws in this plan?
Yes. Here's the flaw. Why are you tipping?
Yeah, because you could just leave and ghost them.
Totally.
Ghost the shit out of them.
Well, I mean, you could do that now, too. You could do that anyway. But it's like, what's when you're tipping a waiter, you're like, oh, I like the service. Yeah. And I like that this person, there's an identity to the restaurant. With this, granted, there is a person walking around clearing your plates and you have to think there are people working. And then maybe the tips are then circulated to the chefs and stuff. Because aside from their pay, maybe that's the way it could work. And then you're thinking, oh, that was such good food. Let me tip on the food. Which here's the thing. When you tip a bartender, you're tipping him for the drink. And if it's a cocktail, you should tip more because he's putting work into it.
I could see this working at a specific restaurant, like a really hip fusion-y place where robots serve you and there's a lot of dance music on.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I kind of like the idea of interacting with a waiter or waitress.
Of course. But I think that can also exist. This is definitely for a different kind of restaurant.
Right, robots.
This is for robots to eat at a restaurant where they eat gears and parts and they mash up oil. And then this is what that clientele is for.
Oh, perfect.
I should have said that.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, you weren't clear on that.
Yeah. No, I think this could work at certain cool places. This could work at your Umami Burger, your Bear Burger, even a Chipotle. No, maybe not Chipotle.
Your Umami Burger?
Umami.
Sounded like you said your Umami Burger.
Your Umami Burger is a different place.
It's a fucked up diss, bro.
Your Umami Burger.
Your Umami Burger.
I'll take the Umami Burger, please.
That's gross.
So that was the restaurant.
All right, we'll pitch it to our guy.
Shark Tank?
Yeah.
The Fubu guy?
My friend Shark Tank.
That'd be a cool name. Shark Tank. There's a little bit of noise happening in the background. I just want to let everyone know that I'm not
Casey's sensitive to the fact that everyone hates any kind of noise other than our sweet, soothing voices.
That's my robot body malfunctioning. Right. So here's another thing that we have to talk about next. The bachelor party. So last time we talked, we went to a bachelor. We were going to be going to a bachelor party camping, and I was a little nervous, I think, about camping, right?
Yes, you expressed some nerve about the fact that we're going 4.5 hours upstate to a secluded lake And it was going to be kind of cold and rainy. Mm-hmm. And we're camping with no actual toilets.
That was the weekend that there was like supposed to be a hurricane.
Right.
But luckily we were like north of it. It was so far away. And this is another issue. If you're going away for a weekend, do you want to, if like just for a weekend, do you want to travel, do you want 10 hours to be travel time? You know, how many hours are in a weekend?
72?
72. So then you're already cut down to 62 hours.
Oh.
I guess you're right. But, you know, so that was, I was a little concerned. 5 hours in the car, you know, it's like, that was one thing. And also,
did you have fun in the car?
I had a great time in the car. I learned a lot about myself and my passengers.
Oh man, I didn't even know where to begin. That was a really fun bachelor party.
I know, you're right. It was insanely fun. There was like a lot of bonding and funny stuff and making fires and
really
eating
funny
food.
stuff.
The food was good. And we were like, there's also a lot of like activities.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have activities. We're not talking popsicle like houses or something like that.
We're not even talking ghost stories.
No, there were no ghost stories, right?
I think in character I told it.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay. There was one campfire ghost story.
I played a character and told a ghost story, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But then, so there was also, we went whitewater rafting.
Mm-hmm. It was exhausting, really, yeah. All that stuff we did.
But I didn't think I'd like it as much as I mean, I knew that I'd had fun once we got up there, but I like had a ball. I was like, now I'm like, I can't wait to camp again. I slept on the floor of nature, and I feel great about it.
So just to paint the picture, I didn't really know what to expect when we got there, but we had an entire island in the middle of Indian Lake, it's called.
Right.
And the island was called Long Island, which is, you know...
crazy.
I can't believe there's another Long Island, and it's a lot like the Long Island we all know.
Yeah, there's like a lot of barbershops and pizza places on this little... no, it was like this secluded little island in the middle of nowhere.
It wasn't that little. It was like 3,000 yards or something.
Yeah, but it would take you, what, like a half an hour to walk around the whole thing?
That's crazy, though, because we in a very American move, we rented way more land than we needed.
Yeah, you're right.
And didn't use half of the island.
USA.
Yeah.
So the other thing was, this was what made me nervous. We had to go to a place, park, and then kayak to this island. That was the original plan. That would have been insane.
It was like a 2-mile boat ride.
Yeah, luckily we got a boat. And even in the boat, when you had a lot of people on the boat, it took forever to get there, and that's with a motor. We also almost tipped that boat.
Yeah, we had this crazy big pontoon boat for like, it's supposed to carry 12 people. We had 16 people on it and 2 beer kegs and all this gear. It was insane. And
food, everything. And on the way back home, we almost, like, too many people stood in the front, and a bunch of people fell in while the boat was going.
Yeah.
Luckily, they killed the engine because that would have killed a person.
It was a very adventurous and dangerous weekend.
Yeah.
We went at night to pick up some guys that came after sunset in the boat, and all we had were little flashlights to navigate 2 miles of water in, like, the fog.
But the Jeep, no, it was cool. The GPS worked.
Yeah.
Like, so you could see where you were in between, like, these mountains.
That was really fun, man.
That was cool.
I like a good adventure. You know me.
Of course. And it was very different. Also, our friend Pat is getting married. It was Pat's bachelor party. Also, I should mention that the last day, Joe Ambrosio here went skinny dipping in front of, you know, all...
Well, it didn't start out in front of everyone. You guys kind of just came around the corner and found me enjoying this lake.
Like, he's completely bare-ass naked in a lake. And then it just became this weird photo session of you. Like, we just started making pornography of you in the lake and, like, climbing rocks. My favorite part of it was, this is insane that this even happened. But the funny is, it's oddly enough, like, this probably happens on a lot of bachelor parties.
I know.
But the best part was Pat's older brothers, who were like firemen and like
cops, like 20 years older than me.
Yeah. So they left to like drop half the people off, and then they were coming back. And so as they're coming back, you stood on a rock. We all hid. You were completely naked, waving a branch. And as they came around, you said, "Something went wrong," which is just you.
What kind of picture does that paint? Like, what could have gone wrong in the 15 minutes that they left the island? I'm naked. Everyone's gone,
and something went wrong.
Is it a problem? Do I have a problem, Casey? You're my friend, right?
Yeah.
You can tell me objectively.
Yeah, you do have a problem.
Every time that we're on this podcast, like some kind of nudity on my part comes up.
Well, I don't know because sometimes it was just you sent a picture to my dad of a penis.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. That was on you. That wasn't your body, though.
Right. Could well have been.
I think my dad at some point thought it was either my penis, which would have been insane, or yours, which
he made your penis. He crafted that dick.
So what a weird thing.
Your dad made your dick, bro.
Oh my god. So anyway, and so if it's yours, it's even worse because he didn't, as to my knowledge, he did not make your penis.
No, as far as I know, he had no hand in my dick
as of yet. So that is you started it. When else did it come up?
The Snapchat snafu.
That's true.
Didn't it? Was there not something else?
Easy on the couch.
I'm sorry about the couch. It's helping me think. I feel like there was more dick at some point. No,
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's something else you did. I mean, I don't know if it's like a reoccurring thing or just like that's just. I think you get like since high school. I feel like our group of friends, like I think this is probably common with a lot of like dumb guys. Will just like a funny joke is to just like show your private parts or your butt.
Right.
It's just like it's a dumb thing.
Because everyone knows it's just dumb looking and like it's kind of funny, you know.
Yeah.
To pull it out and like there was this kid in class. Who would have his wrist down by his pants and he'd be like, bro, check out my watch. And like you looked down and it wasn't a watch. He just like, wrapped his dick around his wrist. We went, I don't know. I mean,
could we, instead of saying saying dick, could we just start saying private parts?
Private.
Genitals?
Yeah.
And make it really medical?
Of course, clinical.
Well, we were supposed to talk about food and now we're talking about private parts.
Different kind of food.
And oogly booglies.
There's a picture of you and me from that bachelor party where I'm butt naked and you are beyond fully clothed. You're wearing like winter gear.
Yes. I'm always cold, so I was like, in nature, I brought lots of extra. I brought like a winter coat, like so much stuff. And this is like the beginning of October. And I'm literally wearing a t-shirt today in November because it's beautiful out.
For one of the bits the guys were filming recently, it was like they had to pass a note to a stranger. Mm-hmm. And we included in the packet that picture of you and me for the guys.
Oh, great.
They loved it. Yeah.
So
they didn't use it. And I don't know where it is. It could be floating around somewhere on set.
So everyone saw your little princess.
Murray promised to burn it, and I don't think he's going to.
No, he's going to keep it forever. Murray's going to frame it. He's going to frame it and put it up in his apartment. But so that was that bachelor party. And I will say the food was great. Remember, so one thing I made was Pat bought this thing called, what do they call it? Cowboy grilled cheese?
Hobo pie?
Hobo pie maker. And it's like, basically, it's like, you can make grilled cheeses in it too.
Sure.
So it's basically like this cast iron thing that closes shut, but there's like a wood handle on it. You put it in a fire. And you could put like 2 pieces of bread and stuff in the middle. And so they were making these hobo pies with like, they were calling it with like marshmallows in the middle of 2 pieces of bread. And I was like skilling that.
Remember, you were like the cake boss, man. You were just making pastry after pastry of this pie filling. It was delicious.
I love cooking for a lot of people.
Yeah. You get into the zone. You become like a human conveyor belt or something.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I think I
don't ever see you cook unless it's for like 16 people.
It's true. I prefer to, like on all of our retreats. I don't know. I just like, I think it's like, I like being active. I like making stuff.
It'll either be like scrambled eggs. Like a ton of scrambled eggs. Used to make this thing called mush.
Yeah, that was great.
At your parents' house, it was just like canned beans and whatever you could find in the house.
Yeah, I just put it all in.
For like our late night like hangouts there.
Those were great.
Yeah.
Mush was great. Oh, it would always be like those sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would always be
Well, you should put the recipe up.
You're right.
And the recipe is open up your cabinets and put things into a pot.
I think the only thing that was always in it was black beans.
Right.
Maybe chicken too. Anyway, so the food we made was really good. It was like classic food, like good hot dogs. That burger I had that he got from like Costco was amazing.
Those burgers are nuts, bro.
They were huge.
Yeah,
they were like an umami burger. It was like your umami burger.
If I can recommend anything to our listeners, it's that hang out with firefighters when they're cooking.
Yeah,
because man, they know how to cook.
They do.
They know how to cook.
So that was that bachelor party, and I want to jump back because
can Q cook?
Brian Quinn?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not every fireman can cook.
Seems like.
But there are people at the fire department that are like the chef. And you always need like a sous chef and another chef so that if that guy's not there, some other guy steps up.
I love that.
But I don't think Brian Quinn was ever the chef guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was probably just a comic relief.
Right. The Guy Fieri.
Yeah. Well, so that bachelor party was very fun and the food was great. And I want to talk. So my bachelor party was in New Orleans, where you just got back from.
Yeah, I just went on a trip to New Orleans for Halloween.
Mm.
It was fantastic. And speaking of food, man, that shit is good.
Okay. You just became a different person.
Some vacations you leave and you come back feeling refreshed. I feel the opposite. I feel like weighed down by buttery substances.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
New Orleans is all about that.
Yeah. Here's another funny food story. I went to, James McCarthy, one of the other writers on the show, happened to be in New Orleans at the same time. We didn't plan it.
So cool.
And he was like, hey, you want to come to the Giants Saints game at the Superdome? And
it's like one of the best games.
It happens to have been one of the best games of the year. Also, like the Superdome's right in the middle of the city. So like, I picked up a ticket for like $40 and just went. It's the most fun. Saints fans are awesome.
Yeah.
They're so cool. They play this song every time the Saints score. Stand Up, Get Crunk.
I heard it. He played it for us when we did a staff infection.
Look up Stand Up, Get Crunk. Every time the Saints scored, it was a great moment because everyone stops.
They scored a lot.
They did. Everyone did. It was like a college game.
Right.
It's great. Look up by the Yin Yang Twins, made famous for Wait Till You See My Dick.
Private parts or genitals, please.
I'm sorry. Wait till you see my privates.
Right.
So speaking of food, even the food at the stadium was great. I got like a jambalaya. Jambalaya.
It sounds like Jamba Juice is like making some kind of rice drink.
What's the proper?
I don't know, man.
Jambalaya.
It's like a fly on jambalaya.
I got a jam there, and there was a nice sausage link on top. And I made it all the way back almost to my section, and it fell on the ground, the sausage link.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked it up and I ate it anyway.
That's disgusting. Were you really hammered?
No.
Were you naked?
I was dead sober.
And so you ate.
I was neither naked nor
on the floor.
Drunk.
I'm not. Like me and Sal would be cringing and asking you a million questions.
I want to talk to you about that for a second. Because after I ate it, then I looked up the science behind it. Apparently, for food like a sausage, it's high in nitrates and sodium and things like that. Bacteria has no chance on it. But for things like
what about when like it touches dirt? Like it's hitting the floor,
right? And
it's definitely
near the bathroom.
Was it?
I don't know. Everything's near the bathroom there.
I agree. There's several bathrooms, and also the bottom of everyone's shoe has been on the bathroom. I
wiped it down with a napkin, and I stand before you today a healthy, strong male.
How long ago did this happen? Mailman. That's so funny. I'm a mailman.
Yeah, I'm a mailman.
That's funny. You should just start telling people that you're a mailman. Oh, I'm a mailman. Oh, no, I'm a mailman.
Man.
I guess it's a double.
It's a... Yeah, it's an oxymoron. It's a redundancy.
No, redundant. What's it called? Oh man, what's that phrase called?
Not a redundant.
Like no, oxymoron is when it's two of the opposite things. Yeah. But if you were saying like a jumbo blimp, that's almost like.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Tweet at Casey Joes what that thing is.
What that thing could be.
And then I'm like, by that time, I'll forget that we even talked about this.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck is this guy talking? What? You would never eat something off the floor?
I think I have at certain times, but what I would try to do is, like, I think I remember like cooking a hot dog and it falling and just putting it back on the grill and trying to cook off whatever.
But yeah, then you'd pass it off to one of your friends. You wouldn't. I guarantee you would not eat that hot dog.
You're absolutely right. But
your ex-girlfriend in high school, I watched her do that while we were having a cookout outside Farrell, our high school, like during a play or something, and she dropped a hot dog on the ground right in this like sandy dirt. I watched her put it back on, and she gave me the same hot dog, and I ate it, and there was sand in it.
I mean,
pick that apart for a second, right? The fact that I saw it, I ate it anyway. I'm so glad you guys broke up.
Hold on. Why did that come? I mean, I guess that. Why does anything come to mind?
Another sausage fell on the floor, and I ate it.
I don't even remember. I wasn't even there, which is so funny.
Probably not.
But hold on. So I want to jump back to a few things.
God. Take your time.
I think if I were in that position, if it was sandy, I would throw it out. Or if I was desperate for food, I would pour water on it to get all the sand off.
Right.
Then put it back on the grill.
Right. Now,
and then I would, if I was going to give it to you, I'd say, hey, by the way,
no, you would.
This hot dog fell into sand. You would not. I poured water on it and put it back.
You would not. And then I'd say, give it to Chris Vert or something. I'd say, give it to...
I would tell a person. Like I was saying, if I dropped a hot dog and it looked fine, but I then grilled it for a while, I'd be like, disclaimer, I would not eat it. But I would give someone the disclaimer and let them have the option.
I think you need to be in touch with your animal side. And in the real world, if we were cooking hot dogs in the forest and they fell on the floor, like cavemen, we would eat it.
Everyone picks and chooses when they're animalistic.
First
of all, you live in a house, you wear clothing.
Sure.
You
not
do
all the time.
That's true. That's very true. We do so many things that are not animalistic.
And I don't want to lose that part of me, Case. That animalistic side.
But you're being very selective about what is animalistic.
Sure. In caveman times, if you were at a football game and the sausage fell on the floor, you would eat it. I'm just saying, that's how it would be.
You're absolutely,
you can't. Who among us can't deny that?
I can't deny that. So, what other things happened in New Orleans? Anything crazy?
The first night we got there, we went to this like crazy mansion, and they had a Halloween party. And like most of the time, it's like a private invite. And this year, they fucking put it in the paper. So like all kinds of weird people were there, and there were like magic mushrooms in the truffles that they were giving out. I didn't find out until after I ate one.
Mm-hmm.
And it must have been a mild dose, if anything, because I didn't feel anything. But it was just crazy. It was like super packed. There was this like groovy band playing that just played the same song for 10 minutes, and like everyone was on something, I guess.
Yeah.
I stuck to Sazeracs that night. They had a Sazerac bar at this place.
What's in the Sazerac? I know it's like
they spray the glass with bitters, I believe, or absinthe. I'm sorry, They spray or gloss the glass on the inside with absinthe.
What do you mean? So how do they spray it? Is it in a spray?
She had a little spritzer, and she spritzed it with absinthe.
So the Sazerac is an old cocktail.
Yeah, it's kind of like an old-fashioned.
There's no way that somebody in the back in the day had a spray.
They might have used a rag and then wiped the absinthe around, whatever you do.
That's actually really cool and gross.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's fine. In the caveman days, if you were having a Sazerac...
At a football game.
So they had a Sazerac bar. Everyone was in costume. Even though it wasn't Halloween, everyone was decked out in costume.
Wow. Where did you go?
I was Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights.
Great. With your pants on, of course. Or your private
well, here's the thing. I didn't know we were going to an additional Halloween party. I had a costume in mind for Halloween proper, which was, and this went very well, a guy that fell asleep at frat party. Specifically, fuck boy that fell asleep at a frat party.
Oh, and he had like writing all over.
So I brought a marker with me, and I gave it to people, and like everyone just kind of drew on my face and my arms.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's cheap and it's fun, and it gets the crowd involved.
Did you get all that stuff off you?
Yeah, look at me now.
Yeah, but this is like weeks later.
I made sure to buy the cheapest, shittiest looking markers I could find. The actual name of the brand of marker was Fooey.
That's insane. It's so funny.
There's a store around the block from the place we stayed in the Marigny, which is like the section of New Orleans we were in. It's just open 24 hours. It's called the Mardi Gras store. And on the bottom floor is like a sort of a ghetto supermarket. And upstairs there was just random items. And so I found my markers there, the Fooey markers.
Fooey.
Oh, Fooey.
I need a really cheap marker.
Fooey. And then I was looking around. Initially, I was going to put a cucumber in my pants. If anyone's familiar with Boogie Nights, Dirk Diggler is
his large general.
He's got large private parts. Yes,
yeah,
very large. And see, here we go again talking about privates.
This whole thing is private parts and food. That's gonna be
and
the
hot
name.
dogs.
That's probably gonna be the name of it.
Private parts and food. So anyway, I was looking for a cucumber to stuff in my pants. I had like a polyester shirt and stuff. And instead of a cucumber, I found like a ceramic dick with a bottle opener attached to the end of it.
This is in the
supermarket.
Ghetto supermarket.
Yeah, just sitting there, no price tag on it.
Wow,
just sitting there waiting to go. It was actually kind of rusty on the bottom.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it.
But there was no. How much was it?
I got her to like sell it to me for $3.
You got it. You haggled this dick.
I haggled some dick.
So hold on. All right. So that's all your stories are insane. They're so loaded with weird stuff. The markers are called Fooey.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for her to be like, your ex-girlfriend was there.
She's making hot dogs.
She dropped a cucumber on the ground and I ate it. I was in a bathroom.
So I ended up taping. I bought this like weird tape that also looked used somehow. I've never seen tape that looked used before. It's almost like they used it and then they wrapped it all back up again, like around itself.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
It was like kind of loose and dirty. I don't know what.
I've seen that at hardware stores.
So I bought that and wrapped it around my waist with the dick sticking out of my pants, and I went around the party like that, and it was a hit.
It was a hit.
Yeah, people loved it.
That's great. That's always nice.
Everyone's so friendly in New Orleans. I love talking to strangers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was so friendly. It was a crazy ass party, man. There was like a photo booth outside in a Volkswagen like microbus.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone just makes it work out there somehow, you know?
Did you have a late night meal?
Not that night, but we ate plenty. We
Yeah.
ate a plenty.
So I was in Montauk for Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at a party, and I was with like some friends. One who is a person of color, and when we were there at one party, a girl came in blackface,
Mm-hmm.
and she was portraying Angela Davis from the Black Panther Party, and she thought what she was doing was a positive thing. And my friend was like, "Well, you know what you're doing is racist," and she was like, gave her a lot of attitude.
Right.
And
Now, Montauk, I imagine people aren't used to. There's probably a certain type of community there.
I don't
That's
know.
Long Island?
Yeah.
That's not our Long Island. That's the other Long Island.
It's far. It's like the farthest out in Long Island. I really just can't understand. Blackface is not right, even as a Halloween costume. Like there's just, you can't do it.
Yeah, it's a loaded costume.
It's insanely offensive. And like there were even people who were friends with her dressed as like a sheik and like several other things that were like just as like maybe just as offensive, but I can't, actually not just as offensive. Blackface is completely different, especially for this country, and it's just like insane that this person thought what they were doing. And then
it's also not the first time like someone's been called out for wearing that. Like they would have like blackface parties at colleges, right?
Yeah, I mean it's also what made everything so strange was like we're in New York, and this is like happening. I mean, it that blew my mind, and I'm not trying to like get on this whole PC bandwagon that's like been very big now, because I mean I like being. It's not a bad bandwagon to be on, to be honest. I think you shouldn't be overly, PC, or just like But this is different, especially if a person is like what you're doing is offensive. To give her attitude for feeling that way, like everyone's open to free speech, but the thing that was the worst was she had left, my friend left, and so I went over and I was just like, hey, just to reiterate, what you're doing isn't cool, and you're free to do whatever you want in this country, but like you should know that how this affects people. And then like a bunch of her like guys came over and they were like yelling at me and getting physical with me for having the opinion that I think what she was doing was offensive. And I was literally just trying to have a nice conversation, not nice, but like a conversation.
Civil conversation.
And they were like, leave. They were like, get out of here. And they got physical and tried to throw me out for disagreeing with something that I found offensive. And it blew my mind. It made me so sad that like they're on the wrong side of history, and it's in New York City, and or in New York.
It's one thing to like be edgy and like maybe make a statement or something, but you're not really making a statement with blackface. This is a warning to the listeners that are sensitive in the ears. I'm going to shift positions on this leathery couch.
Thank you.
Is that cool?
Shift positions on this topic?
Just a trigger warning for this leather couch.
But when you move, you're not going to. All right. That's good. Okay, cool. Now, how do you feel about
it? I feel great.
Yeah, you're a fidgety guy.
I am. You've caught me in weird positions.
You've also been holding this little book this whole time. What does it say?
Well, I just wrote down like topical.
Oh, good.
Like things to bring up, which we've covered most of it, I think. And just real quick, have you ever rented a car before?
I have.
This is my first time renting one, like myself, and we rented it was like 7 of us going down to New Orleans, and we had to drive from Lafayette, Louisiana, up to New Orleans because the flight was like much cheaper. And we rented, instead of a minivan, I got a Tahoe, or it was actually a Yukon that they gave us. Have you ever driven one of those? It's great.
Explain to me what that is.
It's like a giant SUV. It's huge. It's the size of this room practically.
Oh, it's like what are those things called? But like it's like a 15 pass or no?
No, it was an 8 passenger, but like it's shaped like instead of like how a Jeep will have a trunk, that trunk is replaced by 3 seats.
Gotcha.
So it's just this massive, like, fun vehicle to drive. It's a gas guzzler, but man, it was cool.
That's so weird. What's it called?
It was a GMC Yukon.
Yukon.
And it was like a completely modern, like it would vibrate if anyone drove near me, or if I was parking, it would like vibrate my seat so I could tell that there was something nearby.
Oh, that's just fun.
But while we were in New Orleans, it was pouring. It was like a huge storm. I guess that hurricane that kind of came nearby.
Yikes.
There was some residual effect from it, and it was pouring nonstop for
the whole time.
For like on Halloween itself, unfortunately, and the night before. This is a brand new car. When I went to go use it, like just to drive somewhere, it was leaking from the roof. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
Like there was no sunroof. It was just leaking onto the console.
Wow. It
smelled, Case.
It stunk?
It smelled like mildewy.
when I rent cars, I only get like really small, really, really cheap ones.
Right.
I try
Very
to make
sensible.
it as
decision.
cheap as possible.
Well, this was split by 7 people, so I went nuts.
I would like to ball out and get like a convertible.
I would
like,
love that. Yeah.
or like something weird.
Like what's a weird car these days? Like a pickup?
A pickup truck would be cool. That's weird.
It's not that weird. It's weird for you to drive.
Yeah. I'm not the most truck guy, as you could tell.
You're not the most truck-worthy guy.
No, I'm not worthy of a truck at all. But you know what I've always had the idea for is a convertible minivan.
Mm-hmm.
So
like the PT Cruiser?
It feels, like that, but even one more seat.
It's fun.
It feels like the sides would bow, right?
Yeah. Would it be like suicide doors?
I mean, it depends on how sad they are.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think the doors would just open up normally. And like it would be like ever see the convertible Solara?
Yeah, I used to have a Solara.
I know. So it'd be like one more thing.
That's fun.
Maybe you'd have to have wheels in the bottom though, of the middle.
That's a weird car, man.
I know.
I ain't never heard of that.
Like an old ass limousine too.
Yeah, I like those old limos, like the Lincoln 1970s limo that you see on Craigslist sometimes to buy. I'm not gonna buy it, but I support the idea of buying it.
Of buying a whole limo too.
Yeah, just to have.
Yeah.
It seems like limos and dash hounds have a lot in common.
The dog, like the wiener dog?
Yeah, because they're both long and they're both, I imagine, take a lot of upkeep. I think dash hounds have a lot of medical issues, and long limos also have a lot of medical issues.
You think dash hounds are ever like scratching their stomachs on like curbs?
Yeah, I don't know if they probably don't mean to do it, but man,
it's hard.
It seems weird being a weird animal.
Yeah, man, you're a weird animal.
Case, did you know that I'm moving soon?
Yes, I did know you're moving apartments.
It's a big deal, man.
This is a huge move for you.
Moves are tough.
Yeah. You're making moves.
I'm moving downstairs 1 floor in my building.
What?
Yeah. I'm moving down a floor.
What?
I'm moving in with Tim Duffy.
I know all this. I know
you're playing
straight man.
Well,
so you're living in this building, obviously the Ambassador Building.
Okay, well, obviously
promoted before the Ambassador Building in Staten Island.
Okay,
and you're going to be going from the second floor to the first floor, and you're leaving.
To be fair, the third floor to the second floor.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. But because the building's built on this weird
Indian burial ground, yeah. So we don't count the first floor.
An American Indian.
I'm sorry.
Sure. So you are moving in with Tim Duffy.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I hear he's great. He seems really clean. He's got beautiful blue eyes. And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be kind of tough because, like, you realize how much shit you build up living in a place.
Right.
Like, I have so much junk tucked in corners.
Yeah.
Like old receipts in case I need to return like a phone 3 generations ago.
What are you going to do? Shred them or just throw them out?
I'm just going to chuck them, bro.
Yeah. What about any other things, like physical things that you're going to keep or lose?
Well, what's great is I can just put stuff in my parents' basement and forget about it for a while until they move out.
That's nice.
It's kind of like paying it backward.
I have a bunch of stuff in my parents' basement that's like that I'll want if I ever get a house.
Yeah.
Which I would love. Oh, God, I would love to have a house.
Me too.
If you're listening right now and you have a house,
pat yourself on the back.
Because you're doing something that's so cool, is owning a house. You have so much room, and I bet you some of you don't even have enough room in the house, and you guys want a bigger house. And that's how I feel, because I have a very small house called an apartment.
I just want another room. I don't have another room. I have one room.
Well, I blew it for you.
Why?
So you were almost going to stay in your place, and then one person was going to leave, and you were both just going to pay a little bit more rent.
Right, and keep one spare room.
You were living with 2 people.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 rooms and a common kitchen. So you were going to take that other bedroom, make a little studio for your little music.
Well, here's what happened. I was telling Casey that I was moving downstairs with Tim, and he was like, and I was kind of excited about it, but then there were some complications that it appeared that we might be stuck staying in the same place. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of bummed out about that. But then you, Casey, started to get me excited about the prospect of having a whole other room to turn into a music studio or what have you, a clothing nook, anything. Yeah. It could be a nook. It could be a hutch.
Yeah, any of those things, of those words that mean the same thing. And because that was something I was sort of like vicariously excited that I could live through you.
Yeah.
Because I only have I live in a 1-bedroom.
It's a beautiful 1-bedroom, but it's a 1-bedroom.
Yeah. And so like there's really, I could like, if I have to like set up the podcast equipment or to record music, I have to set up the whole thing and then break it down because there's not that much room.
Kills the creative process.
If I just had a room that was like always ready to go, that was just like, it's a room that was like DTF, but the F for some reason stood for record. Record, down to record. Then that would be that's the dream. I would love to have a garage where I had like drums. Like if you have a house right now and you're not a musician that has drums in a recording studio, what are you doing with yourself?
What's your problem, man?
Well, back off. You know what I mean? It's almost as offensive as blackface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
But the thing that's exciting though is you're living with Tim Duffy. So you don't even need to record music because your happiness and creativity will come by looking at those baby blues.
Yeah. It was basically like all the comedy on Staten Island is now in this one room.
You and him.
Tim Duffy is a comedian, and I am apparently involved in comedy somehow. Mm-hmm. And so it's gonna be really cool and funny all the time.
It's always going to be laughs. And Tim is if one thing about him is he loves to clown around and he loves a lot of attention. And he's
going to love that we're talking about him on here.
He's going to love to just play all the time.
You should check him out on Twitter. He's very funny. He just got a job working for Comedy Central's Twitter department.
I saw a tweet today that I was like, that's 100% a Tim Duffy tweet. And it made me so happy.
Yeah, I love him so much. I'm looking forward. The problem is I love him now. Might be rough moving in with him because because
everyone always hates you when they move in.
Everyone, not me. I mean,
no, that's true though. Everyone's always like, Joe sucks.
I feel like I'm pretty good.
Well, it was before you were living with our famous photographer and musician friend Danny Lane, and our famous psychopath
custom service
sweetheart, custom service
representative
dude, Christopher Arama, they're both great people. And I think that they would have issues with you. All had issues with each other.
Sure, that happens when you
probably the least amount with Danny. He keeps to himself.
I mean, yes and no. You can always find something to be a little exasperated by.
But Vert, I remember you had said that he takes up the whole kitchen. He cooks everything up. That's
fine. I don't mind someone cooking. He just sort of he just lives in his own world. I'm not going to get into this whole thing right now. I love the guys, but I will say I'm excited to move in with a new person and hate them instead.
Good. Good. And I remember
that's progress.
Is there anything that you've learned from living here that you're going to try to baggage that you're not going to bring to Tim?
I don't know.
Aside from actual baggage that you might leave at your parents.
I'm just going to try and, maybe negotiate how we clean things earlier on because that kind of gets out of hand. We didn't have a chore roster that some people have.
A chore wheel.
The wheel of chores.
And then, so, that's what you should do because it's nice to be like, hey, this week I'm going to clean the bathroom. Next week, you're going to clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's good. I should actually
the third week, no one's going to clean the bathroom.
Right. And then for the rest of the time. It's tough, man. It's tough figuring out that because if the one person doesn't do it, then you're kind of like, well, then that means I don't have to do it. And then it's a slippery slope.
I'm looking forward to not having a roommate one day. It'd be nice to live on my own, even just for a little bit, I
say go for it.
Well, we'll see.
Spend a year with Tim, learn everything, get his secrets.
And then kick him out.
Kick him out.
Out of his own place.
And then set up your little music studio. You can make your little music.
That'll be fun.
Make your little tunes.
Make my little doodles.
What band are you most excited about that you're in right now?
Probably Bueno, just because, we have a lot of fun right now. Luke is on tour with Titus Andronicus right now in Europe.
Very cool.
His first time leaving the country. Luke is the singer of our band. And Titus Andronicus is a punk band. He is tour managing for them.
Weird.
Yeah, I know.
That's cool.
And we're just making connections. I see a lot of cool stuff down the pipeline.
The Bueno album I have on tape, which is cool. And I've been listening to it a lot. And it's really good. It's way more poppy than I thought it would be.
Thanks. Yeah, we kind of just sat down and organize these songs, which we never did before. It was a lot of
What's the album called?
It's called Guilt.
And it's by the band Bueno.
Yes.
Bueno.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. So less vinyl. I've been it's weird to do this, but I've been listening to my own music just to gear up.
I love listening to my own music.
You do?
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm shameless about it.
Well, I like doing it. I like listening to old stuff and being like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting, or I don't like this anymore. It's that kind of thing. And with Les Vinyl, who obviously opens this podcast and closes it, we have a show, which is exciting. We're doing the Monty Love Christmas show.
Christmas Spectacular.
Spectacular.
Specular.
Specular, which is Jay Miller's band. And it's going to be on the 20th.
Is it the 26th?
Yeah, I think it's the 26th. Look out for it, people. And because Les Final doesn't play a lot, but we're playing the show, which is great.
You guys only play cool shows, and this is going to be a cool show.
We only play cool shows.
You've opened up for Ingrid Michaelson, Kevin Devine.
Yeah.
What else?
Black Shadow. What was the name of
Vincent
that?
Black Shadow?
No, that was Paragraph.
This podcast.
But yeah, so it's the kind of thing that I'm super excited about. I also have a bunch of new songs that I want to record, so that's going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. I've also been doing like weird gigs here and there, just like sitting in and playing with bands. I play with these guys from Nashville. Like a friend of a friend recommended me, and we just like literally I met them the first day of the show, or just like the day of the show.
Right.
We practiced for an hour or two, and then we went and played this like big show in the Lower East Side. And I just love it. I love like going in and like just like having to learn a bunch of songs real quick and knocking them out. It's so fun.
I will say, like, as a person, you're not great, but you're an incredible musician.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
And you are like, you're like, you know, some people are like fluent in another language. You are fluent in bass music. Like you just pick up songs so quickly and you come up with really smart, funny.
Funny?
You're a little funny. You come up with really smart, catchy bass lines, which is like kind of hard to do to stand out. And it's not like you're overdoing it. You like play what's right and you make it like a really unique thing.
And makes up for me being such a shit person.
Really weird person.
A really weird human being.
And you're like, when you play, you're like, I don't even see your eyebrow.
Right.
And like when I'm listening to the music, I'm not even thinking about that eyebrow.
Uh-huh.
So it's really amazing.
That's cool.
But yeah, but like that's a fun thing that you're just really good at, because you also yesterday I had Joe sit in with this female guitar songwriter person.
Well, they had an audition, and I mean I just happened to think they liked me on the audition, right? I'd like to think it wasn't like...
It was your music, it was your look, it was the networking that you've made with me.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great. And it was really cool to see that whole process.
Yeah. That was fun, yeah. I wish I had anything nice to say about you. I'm sorry, I'm just drawing a blank.
You want to know something funny? I listened the other day when I was driving home from Montauk. I listened to an old radio interview that our old band Paragraph did for Mighty Vim.
I was just talking about that interview with Danny last night.
That's so bizarre.
So weird.
So I listened to the entire thing, and it's pretty good. It's interesting to hear us talk.
Yeah.
Also, we had said that for whatever Paragraph album that we had made at the time, the next one, the plan was for you to write all the songs and for us to play them.
That's right.
I would really like you to put out a solo album.
I know. I just need to have a room that I can make my little ditties in.
Right. You need a little room for your little songs.
My little songies.
And your little clothes.
I would love to. I should.
It would be really fun. I think the whole audience out here would like to hear that.
I'll work on it for you guys.
Because I was even thinking, like, you know, I have a bunch of new songs that I was like, what if I just record them on my own and put them out? And I was like, well, I'll just do like a solo album. But I'm like, Les Final is sort of a project that's mine. It's like weird.
You're the prime driver.
It's like when Dave Matthews Band, Dave Matthews like put out a solo album.
Did he?
Like, yeah, and it's just as Dave Matthews. And you're like, what? You know?
I did not know that.
And like Ben Folds 5 is a little different because like, you know, he put out a solo album as Ben Folds.
They were specifically a trio. You could hear all of them contributing parts. Ben Folds' sound did change.
And that's a little different. But Dave Matthews to Dave, because also it was like, I think he had some of the people from the band in it.
Of course. Who else is he going to hire?
Yeah, so weird. And on that note, I just want to thank everybody for listening. This is so fun. It was nice to hang out and talking.
This is great. We should do this more often.
I mean, I see you several times a week, so. But sometimes we put a microphone in front of us and talk.
Right. Which is great.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Please follow us at Casey Jost and
at SI_badboy.
Send us some food to 75 Broad Street, 15th floor. And make sure to keep sending your canned goods to the church, 75 Broadway.
Trinity Church. Yeah.
And please you could say things like, what say you podcast, or, you know, Casey and Joe sent, you know.
I would maybe not say go fuck yourself to the church.
That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah. Not the best idea. Go love yourself.
Go love yourself.
Go love your Lord.
Yeah. Go pray.
Go pray yourself.
Somewhere.
Eat, pray, love. Mm-hmm. That's a good name for this too. Mm-hmm. This podcast.
Eat, pray, love.
Because we talked about eating.
Eat, love.
Eat, dick,
pray,
love.
Eat, dick, love.
Eat, dick, limos.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And hopefully, you know, your captains Sal and Joe.
Joe and
hopefully Joe and Murr make a podcast.
Bye.
I heard that Rome wasn't built in a day. Then how come everyone is rushing to get ahead? And if I seem to be reserved, that's just my way. Your questions seem like you're interrogating me. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a D next time. Okay. Here we go. I heard the lemon metaphor 4 million times, and I don't stand for lemonade, don't ask me why. And would a beverage stand be a job that be desired? And where would I get the wood, and should I try? Should I try? Then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a 65. Yeah, I try, yeah, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I might as well just haha. The currency don't grow like leaves on trees. Then how come my money comes and goes so seasonally? And I wish farmers planted plants instead of thieves. My friend pays a ton of green for greener groceries. Yeah, she tries, then again she don't try. She gets an F for effort, she'll plant a tree next time. Yeah, she tries, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a D next time. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a 65. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I might as well just die.
Next message.
Hi, Cassie. Listen now, Pia. Please call me what you say, not have hit.
End of message.